have meant much in enabling our friendship to grow and mature into what God would have it to be.
There are some highlights in our friendship that I would mention. Easter 2000 when we hosted the sunrise service at Williams-Brice Stadium. 40,000 people there. It was interesting to me, somewhat amusing, I guess, that there were 12 disciples. 6 of them were white, 6 of them were black, and Jesus was Hispanic. So we did that together. And Joel, I don't think any of them were Jewish. Come to think of it. All right. We had Liberty 2003 at Williams-Brice Stadium. There were 37,000 people that gathered out there to celebrate our freedom. The serendipity for me is that Robin and Charles, just precious friends to us. We love them very much. They mean so much to us. But how did that come about? And I'll just say very briefly, he and I determined that we were going to be honest with each other, that we were just going to be honest. Because I do not believe that you can have a friendship unless there is honesty, because trust does not develop. One day we were riding on the bicycles together at our Family Life Center, and Charles, because various issues come up, and Charles said, "Wendell, I'd like to do something." And I said, "What's that?" He said, "When issues come up, I would like to be able to say, as a black man sees it, and I want to tell you how a black person sees that." And he said, "And then I would like for you to say, as a white man sees it, and you tell me how a white man sees it." And we have practiced that from that time. We have learned that we see events through different eyes, different experiences, different backgrounds, but we have a better understanding as to why our interpretations might be different. We also determined that we were going to give grace to each other without condemnation or separation, that we would listen to learn, not listen to criticize. We are friends, but we are also pastors, trying to lead our churches to love the Lord Jesus. It has been said that the Sunday morning hour of worship is the most segregated hour of the week, and I suppose that could be true. But the question in my mind, at least, is why? And as Charles and I talked about that, I one day said, "Charles, I wish we had more black members in our church, but they come to our church and then they end up going to Brookland." And he said, "I would imagine that you have more black members in your church than I do white members in my church." And we have concluded, at least, the reason for the separation is probably more cultural than it is racial. The truth is, I don't have the energy to be black. And I certainly don't have the energy to pastor a black church. If I did, they would either fire me or they would become as dry as most white churches. We also differ in our political views, but we have concluded that in politics, the primary color is not so much black or white as it is green. Our families know each other, love each other. I absolutely love this man. I love Robin, Candace, Charles Jr. They are in our hearts, and they are in our prayers. He's a wonderful friend.
You have both honored and humbled us by giving us this privilege to share with you something of our friendship this morning. And one of the reasons that we were appreciative of this opportunity to share with you is because it is our desire that others form like friendships. We can become a much more effective power for good through cultivating friendships like unto the one we enjoy. However, friendships across racial lines do not happen automatically. The truth is, no friendship simply happens. It takes work. Wendell and I are fortunate that it didn't require work as much as it did time. The work was effortless, that is, accepting the other, being tolerant, open to different perspectives. We were willing to spend time together with each other. We believe that one of the reasons that persons don't trust each other is because they don't know each other. And they don't know each other because they don't spend time with each other. Spending time is critically important to developing trust. If you cannot trust yourself into the friendship of another, then you remain little more than associates. And if you're not careful, your relationship becomes superficial and only surface. Additionally, you must be willing to listen and learn. The practice of listening and learning is one of the rewards of our friendship. We have learned so very much from each other. As he has so inferred, we're not hesitant to ask why. We respectfully feel a need to understand each other's perspective. And because of this, we don't make premature judgments about the other's race. We ask questions and are open to acquiring a different perspective and a new understanding. This lends itself to grace. When hearing the other's perspective, it doesn't mean that we will always agree. Wendell and I disagree on some things, but we have learned how to disagree without being disagreeable. We do not allow our disagreements to violate the unspoken and unwritten terms of our friendship. Our friendship takes precedent over our disagreements. And it is our prayer that in the days ahead and the years to come, more persons will come to know the joy and benefit of having a close friendship with someone other than your ethnic origin. And as I close our presentation, permit me to share a poem in honor of our friendship and the friendship our families enjoy. The poem is entitled, "The Gift of Friendship." Friendship is a priceless gift that cannot be bought or sold, and its value is far greater than a mountain made of gold. For gold is cold and lifeless. It can neither see nor hear. And in the time of trouble, it is powerless to cheer. It has no ears to listen, no heart to understand. It cannot bring me comfort or reach out a helping hand. So when I asked God for a gift, I'm thankful that he sent not diamonds, pearls, or riches, but the trust of a real, true friend. I love you, my brother.
I love you, God.